I did a video the other day about BYD servicing in Australia, and straight after that I got an email from a viewer who absolutely nailed the problem. He owns a 2024 BYD Seal, and his experience, in my opinion, perfectly sums up what is not good enough about BYD in Australia right now. People must know about it. Let me walk you through what he told me. I do have his permission to talk about this. So it starts off kind of mild. I get it. It doesn't sound overly bad. And then it gets worse the deeper you go. So he's got a 2024 BYD Seal. It's pretty new, you know, a year and a half old. Over time, the air conditioning slowly got worse, and now it doesn't work at all. The dealer and BYD have both told him not to drive the car because on the Seal, the air conditioning system also cools the batteries, obviously. So no air conditioning doesn't just mean that you're a bit warm. Well, he is in Western Australia, so probably he's a bit more than a bit warm. And it means that the battery cooling may not be doing its job. So that is a very big deal. And it means that as it sits in his driveway, he basically has an inoperable car and he's still paying for it. Now, normally you'd say, no worries, you know, we can get roadside assist for you. This is totally fine. Just take it to a dealership. But here is the first problem. BYD's roadside assist only lasts for a year, so 12 months. His car is about 18 months old. So the BYD branded roadside support is gone. So that's the first thing. He's then told that the roadside assist now runs through MyCar, but MyCar's assistance only takes you to MyCar, not anywhere else or the dealership. And in his case, that doesn't actually help because MyCar can't do the warranty work on this car. On top of that, he lives in a fairly regional part of Western Australia. The nearest BYD dealer is about 150 kilometres away. The only flatbed quote he's been able to attain so far is $899. So just to move the car to one point to another, and they probably put a tax on it because, you know, they probably don't like electric cars, so an extra $200 for that. So point number one I want to make, as soon as this the initial roadside cover expires, if you don't live near a BYD service centre, you are very exposed, you're a little bit shafted. There is way more to this story though, so keep on listening. Point number two. The local BYD experience centre, as they call it, on paper, he does have a BYD location nearby, but in his words, it's only an experience centre. They can sell you a car, but they're a multi-brand franchise, but when it comes to actual servicing and warranty, they will not touch it at all. He asked BYD when that experience centre might be fully up and running for service. All he's had back so far is what he described as a purposefully meaningless answer. So he has a BYD branded building in his town, but if his Seal has a problem, they can't diagnose it, they can't repair it, and can't handle the warranty. So it's not great, is it? That's not what most people think they're buying into when they see a big BYD logo on the front of a workshop in their local town. They think maybe they can get it repaired or looked at maybe. Point number three, the dealer and BYD bouncing him between each other. This is pretty common. I'm sure that won't surprise you, honestly. But the nearest proper dealer is an Eagers owned site. According to his email, staff there have basically said that we can't help because we aren't BYD, basically, and they pushed him back towards roadside assist or BYD. Meanwhile, BYD themselves are telling him to talk to the MyCar, I think it was. At one point, the dealer even emails him saying it would be best not to drive your car with the information you've provided us. If you're uncomfortable, please utilise roadside assistance. So it sounds a bit like blanket email, doesn't it? A bit crappy, really. So BYD is the manufacturer. They just took loads of money and sold him this car. So it's a year and a half old. They really should be owning up to this, I think. Quick pause here. And by the way, thank you to all of the channel members on YouTube and Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, that sort of thing. I really do appreciate your support. You're the reason I can dig into stories like this and kind of, you know, give stories like this an actual voice. So yeah, hopefully this issue gets sorted for him. As a side note, if you know of a good tow company in Western Australia, let me know. I can pass on those details to him. And I'll give the towing company a shout out for helping if you're actually the towing company, and hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Back to the case. Point number four is the wait time. So this is where it gets double as crappy, really. So the dealer has told him the earliest inspection that they can offer for an air conditioning leak, by the way. He's 4 weeks from when he first contacted them. And even when they do get the car, they've said that they can't guarantee a quick fix because they are obviously they're dependent on the supply from China to get the parts. The refrigerant in the system is the relatively new R1234YF. I hope I got that right. And he says that local mechanics around him aren't set up for it yet, and they're reluctant to work on an EV anyway. And also, I'm not oblivious to this. When you talk to people who just don't like EVs, like a lot of mechanics don't like EVs, they'll probably put a tax on it. So like a blank tax. So his usual local options are kind of out. You can't really get someone in to just have a look at it. And again, if you know of anyone who would just be all right to just have a quick look at it for him and maybe just literally cast your eyes on it, that would be brilliant if you would want to do that. He's not asked me to say that. It's just if you know of someone who would just be willing to do that, who's a specialist, let me know. And I'll give you a shout out. And that might just be the answer for him, honestly. So he's been told it could take around 8 weeks for parts from China. This is actually relevant to the video I talked about. I talked about this exact issue last time, where someone waited weeks for parts to come from China, and then they were the wrong ones, so they had to get them resent. It's a long trip. It's a month on a boat. So yeah, if you add all this up, you got 4 weeks just to get a booking, and then potential another 8 weeks on parts and repairs, and he's looking at possibly 3 months without a working car. The third issue, this is only a small refrigerant leak, and he's also got to pay $900 to tow it all the way there because they won't come and grab the car from him or whatever. So not only is it a crap situation, he has to pay for every month to keep this car running. And yeah, that I think is a bit of a kick in the guts. He has to take time off work to drop it off and to go collect it. And there's still no guarantee that it will be back once it finally gets there in the next 2 or 3 months. So yeah, it's pretty a textbook example of how not to treat someone who just bought a new car for many thousands of dollars from you. The chances are he won't buy another one from BYD now. So it most certainly will lose them that bit of profit on the next car that he's probably not going to go buy from BYD. And also it gives them a bad word of mouth, because not only is he probably not too happy and maybe even mentioning it to friends and family, and they're aware of it, even if he's not, they're aware of it, but also the media will pick up on these sort of things and they will talk about it a little bit. So point number 5, and this is the kicker for me, he actually did his homework before buying. So before he bought the BYD Seal, he checked with his local MyCar outlet. They told him they were in the process of gearing up to service BYD vehicles. That is what a lot of us were told, actually. BYD publicly promoted the relationship with MyCar as a way to give national coverage to allay concerns, and they publicly avowed this. This was heavily pushed. So according to him, MyCar never got the equipment or the authorization from BYD in the end. They never reached that point where they could actually service a BYD vehicle, and definitely can't do any warranty work on a BYD. So he's now being told that not all MyCar outlets can actually service BYDs, and none of them can handle warranty repairs. So the very partnership that he kind of relied on when he bought this, when he made the purchase, has not helped him at all when something actually went wrong on a 1.5-year-old car. So does the customer, does he share any fault here? The only thing you can say is that he does live 150 kilometers from the nearest dealer. That's not BYD's fault, but that is an informed risk. He knew that when he bought the car. He tried to manage that risk by checking with MyCar ahead of time, and by relying on BYD's own public messaging that MyCar would be able to support these cars. He's not ignoring reality. He's obviously trusted that BYD and their partners would meet him halfway if there was ever an issue. This is only a minor issue. This is probably just a crimp on a hose or something. It's just a little bit crappy. A new hose might cost them $30 for a hose. Ship it over and fix it. Obviously, it might not be a very big deal, but it's causing a lot of collateral damage. So in my opinion, BYD is at fault here almost entirely. Not because they sold a bad car. We don't know yet what exactly failed. It could be much more serious than just a small leak, but because their service network in Australia just is not mature enough to support the number of cars that they're selling, we're seeing this pattern, the same pattern, over and over and over again. People being bounced between BYD, the dealer, MyCar. long wait times for basic parts. Let's not even mention the fact that the parts which take a month to arrive may in fact be the wrong parts. This has happened a couple of times recently and have been sent back, and then your car is just sat in the BYD car park for another month whilst they're shipping very slowly a bumper or something like that for your car to be fixed. BYD could actually just say, well, we'll pay half the towing fee. Why don't they say that? I'm sure he actually might have just been a lot more chill about that. But $900 is a lot of money, and it's not just this one guy. I've had another viewer comment as well, and also the guy the other day who messaged and put a comment underneath a post I made who needed a wing mirror replacing on their BYD. It took ages, and it was very, very expensive. And on top of that, he had to then pay separately to get the NFC chip recoded, which was also a small fortune. And I also got told that they wanted to replace the little black plastic cap on the bottom of the rear wiper arm. Little piece of plastic. $110 for that? Oh, come on, BYD. You must be having a laugh. How many yachts have you got in I don't know, Manly Harbour in Brisbane? I have no idea. It's a joke, honestly. So this is the sort of thing that makes people furious. These are basic ownership experiences that other brands like Hyundai, Toyota, Kia, maybe even MG at this point, generally handle much better because their service networks have been built upon over decades, at least, mostly decades, but not necessarily all of them. MG, for example, not as old as that. But when BYD says they're excited about their growth in Australia and they talk about opening more locations, that's all good for them. But stories like this show that the support side has definitely not kept up with the sales side. You can build a fantastic car and you can sell a lot of them, so you can give yourselves a pat on the back for that. If a 1.5-year-old BYD Seal ends up sitting in the driveway undrivable for weeks or months because no one will take responsibility, I think we'll all take a bit of issue with that. I don't think no one's going to like that. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. I'm guessing there's a few things we could say here about this. If you own a BYD in Australia, how has your servicing been for you? Have you got any experiences, good or bad? Has it been smooth, or have you run into any similar issues with parts, wait times, or anything like that? Or, I don't know, the tone of voice of the person answering the phone at BYD, or getting anyone to actually take ownership of the issues? Please let me know in the comments. It's not just me. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be like straight to the comments on this one. So yeah, this is exactly the sort of thing they can fix quickly if they choose to. It might cost them a few $100s. Maybe it costs them $1,000, but to go grab the car. But that's nothing, because he's spent many thousands of dollars on this car, and he will potentially buy another car if they fix this. Like, if they fix it like a champ, he might even go buy another car afterwards, so they can kind of take that cost for this repair and split it, deduct it from the 2 cars that he's bought from them. So come on, BYD, fess up, go grab his car and fix it for him.